today's video, we're going to be talking about high carbs to getting shredded. Super excited to have you back here on my YouTube channel, and if you just stumbled across my channel, welcome. We're going to be discussing the topic, high carbohydrate diets to getting lean and shredded, and the fitness world's opinion right now, demonizing carbohydrates. And I want to have a chat about this and why it is this way. Get an understanding on how I like to do things. Go back and watch a few of my previous videos. One is on how to work your carbohydrates and your macros. And if you need a little bit more of a hand, go back and watch my 90-day game plan. The links will be in the description. I want to talk about the science behind fat loss and the actual use of carbohydrates in fat loss. Been asked a ton of questions recently about this, and a lot of people have jumped in and said, if you eat carbohydrates, that sparks your insulin level. If your insulin levels are spiked, then that's what's going to prevent fat loss and it's going to promote body fat storage. And I want to get rid of this rumour because all our bodies are both burning body fat and storing body fat, and we don't need to worry about this. What we need to worry about is NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis throughout the day. When it comes to dieting for fat loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit. You can just diet on carbohydrates or fats. And what does this all mean when it comes down to us dieting down, getting lean and keeping muscle? In my mind, I don't think we should demonize one food group. I think we should work on a balanced approach. And my personal opinion to getting people lean is keeping carbohydrates in your diet. And keeping them in our diet as high as possible, and also looking at our protein and our fat in a range that is going to promote our health, our well-being, our performance and recovery. And I also like to include higher carb refeed days and diet breaks. Now there's been some really good research on diet breaks running from 1 week to 2 weeks, which basically means that you go back up to maintenance and that it shows that more body fat is lost and more muscle is maintained over time. When I diet down every year, and I also see this in my clients, when I restrict carbohydrates for a few days, I start to get a deflating look in my muscles and in my performance weigh-ins, and the leaner I get. However, when we add carbohydrates, our muscle bellies will fill up and our performance will improve. And this is why I think it's so important to have carbs in a fat loss phase, because we don't want our performance being negatively affected for long periods of time in the gym. These long periods with not training in the gym, with training with less weight, can result in the loss of muscle mass that you work so hard to build. So if carbs are bad, why are they demonized? Well, I think it comes down to the sources of carbs. And there are two types. Most of the time, we promote whole grains and fruits. When we see carbs, we instantly think cereal, pancakes and donuts. These things are so easy to eat and over ingest, but not also carbs. But in fact, many food people think it is just carbs, but in actual fact, it just has as much fat. So you're not just getting a high carb diet, but actually you're getting a high carb and a high fat diet. The most important thing here is that you're actually paying attention to your fat intake. If you have a high carb diet, you have a decrease in ghrelin, which is the hunger signal hormone, so you won't be feeling as hungry. Insulin is also another hormone which helps us feel satiety. If we avoid satiety, we will be triggering hunger further down the road. So overall, what is the best approach? It's what works best for you. You need to pay attention to the foods that you like and enjoy and that you want to eat, not the foods that you're going to overeat on, like Pringles. Things you can add in your diet and improve on satiety and performance, but don't put you in a risk of overeating and over-consuming. I'm not in favour of someone eating junk food and then craving more of it. But when in a calorie deficit and we are tracking our diet and we are paying attention to our body composition, the food sources that you enjoy and consistently eat, you can still fit in treats that are going to work for you and your goals. It's all about your budget in your diet. People have lost weight on a McDonald's diet. People have lost weight on any diet they want as long as they're in a caloric deficit. However, just being in a calorie deficit doesn't set yourself up long term for benefits and performance. I know if you're watching this video, your goal is to get the best body composition as possible and make it long term and sustainable. I recommend that you include carbs into your diet and that you set protein to 1 gram of goal weight, and that I suggest that you set your fat no lower than 20% of your total daily intake. I know a few of you are thinking, how do I do this? Don't worry, I've made a couple of YouTube videos on this already and I've put their links in the description below. in order to show you how to work this out. So guys, just before I go, I just want you guys to start thinking about refeeds and diet breaks. And I'm going to show you a photo of a client that I've been working with, and we included that into his training and his nutrition. So guys, it is now the end of the video. Hopefully you've got a lot of information and value away from this, and hopefully you've learned something. If you know that someone's going to benefit from this, please post this video to them or send this video to them, because I want to try and impact as many lives as possible. If I could ask 3 simple things, that would be amazing. Number 1, you comment shredded in the comments below so I know that you've watched the whole video. If you could also like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be amazing. Anyway team, I want to leave you with that. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.